The government sold it as risk-free. A private company builds it, a private company owns the risk, and Kenyan taxpayers pay nothing if it fails. Except buried in the contract is a clause that makes ordinary motorists absorb a risk most of them don't even know they're taking every single time the shilling weakens. Today, we go inside the contract. Every time the Kenyan shilling loses value against the dollar, your toll fee on the Nairobi Expressway quietly goes up by design, written into the contract. The road that was pitched as risk-free to taxpayers has already lost money, even after those fee hikes. And if the government ever wanted to walk away from the deal, it would owe the company running it more than 100 billion shillings just to leave. This is the story of Kenya's flagship, no public debt infrastructure project, and what's actually written into the deal behind it. Today, we go inside the contract. By the late 2010s, Kenya had already taken on enormous debt building the railway from Mombasa to Nairobi. So when the idea came up to build an elevated highway straight through the city's worst traffic corridor, the government reached for a different model, one it could sell as the responsible alternative. Instead of another government-to-government loan, this would be a public-private partnership. A Chinese construction giant would design it, build it, and pay for it themselves. In exchange, they'd operate it and collect tolls for decades before eventually handing it over to the state. The pitch was simple and politically convenient. No new public debt. If the investment didn't pay off, that was the company's problem, not the taxpayers. It opened in 2022. Travel time across the city dropped from 2 hours to 20 minutes. People loved it. Nobody was talking about the contract yet. Here's the assumption everyone made, reasonably, from the pitch. If this is the company's investment, the company eats the risk. That's the whole point of a public-private partnership. You transfer risk away from the public. Except that's not quite what the contract does. Buried in the toll setting terms is a formula. Prices don't just sit fixed for the life of the deal. They adjust, upward, based on two things: inflation, and how much the Kenyan shilling has weakened against the US dollar since the road opened. In practice, that means every time Kenya's currency slides, motorists pay more automatically through a formula written years in advance that they never negotiated and mostly don't know exists. And it isn't hypothetical. Within 2 years of opening, the shilling lost more than a third of its value against the dollar. True to the formula, toll rates jumped by nearly 40% at some stations in a single adjustment. The government's own transport minister confirmed the number publicly. A 38.9% hike, tied directly to the exchange rate move. Later, the shilling actually recovered some of that lost value. The road's own regulator recommended lowering tolls back down, in line with the same formula that had raised them. The government didn't act on that recommendation. The increase came automatically. The decrease needed a decision, and that decision never came. So the no-risk to taxpayers pitch turns out to have a very specific asymmetry. Currency risk flows to the motorist automatically when it's bad news, and needs a government decision to flow back when it's good news. One direction is a formula. The other is a choice someone keeps not making. There's a second clause, and this one is less about your commute and more about the country's ability to ever change its mind. Every long public-private partnership includes some kind of exit clause, a way to unwind the deal if things go badly wrong. Kenya's government eventually disclosed what that exit would actually cost here, and it's enormous. If this deal were terminated early, the state would owe the operator a break fee representing nearly a third of everything the company was projected to earn over the entire 27 years. Out of 11 similar infrastructure partnerships Kenya has signed, this single road accounts for more than half of the country's total exit liability, across all of them combined. Think about what that actually does. It doesn't just protect the company's investment normal, arguably fair. It makes the deal functionally irreversible for a generation, regardless of what future governments, future audits, or future public pressure might conclude about it. Kenya can elect new leaders, hold new referenda, change its whole political direction, but this contract's exit door costs more than most ministries' annual budgets to open.